Good afternoon, Flosstube. I'm Lynette at Homesteading on the Homefront.
And I'm Little One.
And it is Sunday, February 10th, 2019. We thought we would do another video since we had some time this afternoon and it's been a little while. So, yep, retirement. Donna Ray sent me this card. Can you see? Yeah. Retirement only partially stuck for me. I have actually been subbing a couple days a week at the school for other teachers. It's kind of the best of both worlds because I get to still see the kids. I love the kids, but I don't have to do lesson planning. I can leave school immediately because I don't have to help afterwards. So yeah, I'm partially retired now. So anyway, let's get into it. We've got some finishes to show you, some whips and some haul and all kinds of good stuff. So, you want to go first?
Sure. So, my finish came from the Just Cross Stitch 2003 Special Christmas Edition. It's Cedar Waxwing at Christmas.
This was the one that she had started originally intending to use it as a smalls exchange.
And then that changed.
She fell too much in love with it and decided she didn't want to give it up and she didn't want to stitch it again. So she's keeping it. I think it came out really nice. I think that so it really popped once you started stitching the red berries. Mm-hmm. And I have some finishes as well. If you remember, I think in the last video or 2 videos ago, I talked about how I was going to be stitching some heartstring Santas as exchanges in honor of vintage stitches. And I actually got not one, but 2 of them stitched up. I stitched the larger one first, and I liked it so much that I decided to stitch it again. It was just really a lot of fun. I am not sure which year of the Just Cross Stitch ornament editions these came out of. The original one, Santa was pulling a sled or a wagon with a Christmas tree in it, but I decided to leave that out because this is a pretty significantly sized ornament as it is. I mean, here's my hand so you can see. It's no small ornament, and it'll be even larger when I finish it. So I decided just to leave the wagon and the tree off. And I love how they stitched up. I don't know how exactly I'm going to FFO them. I mean, obviously they're going to be ornaments, but I will show you them when they are done. I'm really happy with the way they came out. Okay, you want to talk about your whip?
Yeah. I was so close to finishing this. It's Lizzy Kate's Let It Snow. I had finished all except the top and bottom border and a little of the mitten, and Mom told me that it would be better if I went over the white again because I've been stitching this with one strand. And so I did, and now I can finish it today.
And was Mom right about the white?
Mom was right.
Mom is always right. I have a couple of whips as well. And you know what? I forgot about some of my FFOs. So I'm not FFOs, some of my finishes. I'm going to go back and show you those before we get into my whips. So, I'll just tell the long story. Last June, Yvonne showed her dough bowl, which she had stitched using Farmer's Market from Prairie Schooler. And I fell in love with her finishes and I wanted them for myself. And so I went on the hunt for Farmer's Market and found out that it was very hard to come by. It's not one of those that was like showing up on eBay for lots and lots of money. It just wasn't showing up at all. So I decided the next best thing would be this chart, which is Holiday Harvest. And I got this off of eBay for a reasonable price and decided that I would stitch these. They're very similar to the farmer's market, only they're obviously more holiday oriented. So that kind of, I didn't get to that this Christmas. I wasn't going to get to it until this fall. Except a couple weeks ago, I got a notification that somebody had listed farmer's market. My unicorn pattern. And so I got on eBay and bought it. Again, I think it was like $13 including shipping, which is exactly what I would have paid, you know, if I waited until they released it. So I jumped on it and bought it, and now I owned farmer's market. So while I was waiting for this to arrive, it was the very end of January, and you know, I said I needed to start a prairie schooler because Helen D said 1 a month, right, for the prairie schooler all year long. So the end of January, while I was waiting for farmer's market to come, I stitched on the pineapple. Not doing the borders because Yvonne didn't do the borders, so why should I? And then it was the first part of February, and I decided I would knock out that month, or this month's prairie schooler as well. So I worked on the apples from Holiday Harvest. I don't know which other ones I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do the pears and the pomegranates and the pine cones. I'm definitely not going to do them all. I figured I would do 5 of them from here, and then I can move on. And the same thing. I'm only going to do 5 of these, I think. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm only going to stitch the things that I grow in my own garden. So we'll see. I definitely won't be doing the mushrooms because I'm not a fan of mushrooms. And yeah, the beets. No, I've tried with beets. I've tasted them. I've cooked them every which way, pickled, roasted, you name it. They taste like dirt to me no matter what. So I'm not doing the beets. So anyway, these were a couple of my finishes. The apples, actually, I finished while I was subbing because I had outlined the dark red and all I needed to do was fill it in. And so I had a class that was, I don't know what they were doing, reading or whatever, and behaving wonderfully. So I said, okay, I'm taking out my stitching and I'm going to finish the apples. So that's that story. So yeah, I no longer have a unicorn chart. There's no chart that I'm like dying to own because now I have them all. Okay, so that was my finishes. So now on to my whips where I should have been in the first place. The first one I am going to show you is this one, Never Let You Go, from Heartstring Samplery, Beth Twist. And if you remember, I am changing this one up. Eventually I will be doing a video on exactly how I change things up. But for now, I will show you my progress. This is basically, I stitch on this one on Sunday afternoons. And the reason for that is that's when my husband goes back to Newport, and I want to stitch on the sampler that says, I wish I were a little seed, I'd grow and grow and grow, I'd twine myself around your heart and never let you go. So this one is slow because it only gets a couple hours a week, but it's very therapeutic for me. And then my other whip, you've all seen it, it's coming along fantastically, is, I'm just taking it out of the, well, somewhat out of the Q-snaps. This is His Eye is on the Sparrow. And so basically I've got in 2 pages in every direction. I think it's 2 pages across and 3 pages up and down. I'm working on this last piece, wait a minute, this last part of the page down there. And then when that's done, I will be almost halfway through. And I say almost because there's these areas here, like this big bird and those two creatures in the house. I am saving all of the brainless fill-in so that I can work on it at the Frugal Yankee retreat. So it's coming. I have no deadline for when I want it finished, but I'm loving it. I love enjoy. I enjoy working on it, and so part of me doesn't want it to be done, but
just stitch it again.
No, I'm never stitching that one again. So I think that's it as far as my whips go. I have the Sparrow and Never Let You Go, and then of course I have the Nantucket piece that is my Newport only, which I haven't been able to touch in weeks and weeks, but we will be heading down to Newport next month for a weekend, so I'll get to work on it at that point.
We'll have to do a Flosstube.
We will have to do a Flosstube from Newport. Okay, so haul. Do you want to show your needle minder that you made?
Yeah. Well,
or I made?
I separated the magnet.
I had found this little let me show. It's actually the crafter at the craft fair that I found it at had it, she painted it, but it was a pin. And so my husband pried the pin off the back and we added the magnets. And so she's got this cute little needle minder.
I think that's going to be my needle minder for Let It Snow now.
Yeah, there you go. And I have some haul too. Not too much, but I wanted to show you. I got all bundled up. I'll take it out here so there's no.
That's cute.
This is Brenda Gervais. I'd been eyeing this, and then I decided I wasn't going to stitch it because it's just too big. You guys, it's way bigger than you think it is. It's, I don't know what the stitch count is. Oh, 186 by 123. So it's big. But every time I saw it, I loved it. And so I decided I would jump and get it so that I can stitch it at some point. And then the other piece of haul I got, I don't know what to tell you about this piece. I can tell you that it's a Blackbird design. I don't know anything about it other than apparently Shepherd's Bush was the only place that you could get it. Somebody posted a picture of it on the Primitive Stitchers Facebook site, and I saw it and I loved it. And so I messaged all of the girls who I'm stitching Sparrow with. There's 4 of us who are stitching that together. You've met them before in prior videos. And I said, okay, I know that we're not even close to being done on Sparrow, but look at this project and I think we need to stitch it. And so one of the girls said, I've already picked out my next project after Sparrow, so I can't commit. And another girl said, I can't even think about what comes after Sparrow because I'm so overwhelmed with finishing this. And then my best friend Stacy said, I love it, I'm in. So I called Shepherd's Bush and asked if they had any of the patterns left. And she said, yep, I think we have one left. And I said, oh, I was hoping you would have 2. And so she went and looked and she's like, yep, you got the last 2 patterns. And so I don't know if that means that I got the last 2 patterns that they had and will ever have, or if I got the last 2 patterns that they had but they could order more. I don't know. I don't know anything about it other than it is called Our Lasting Friendship. And look at all the spots here for the initials. I just love it. And so this is not going to get done anytime soon. Like I said, this will be after Sparrow gets finished. And it's not nearly as big as Sparrow either. It's 201 by 225. So it's a fairly sizable sampler, but not too bad. And it's almost a square, which is nice. I don't know if I can tweak it to make it a square to make it easily framed, or if I'm gonna have to make it longer. I could always add in an alphabet somewhere to make it longer if I needed to. So that was my haul. Not much of it, but I'm trying not to buy anything because our basement is bad, you guys. It's bad. And the room that I want to be the craft room is just full of stuff and it's not usable yet. And I haven't had the time to organize it. So I'm really, really trying to be good and not buy anything. Although I will tell you this, for those in the driving area, the Friday after market man has said that Bush Mountain will be holding a market open house that Friday and Saturday. So I am going to put that, I think it's Friday the 7th or 8th, whatever that Friday is. I'm going to be heading over there. So
how far is it?
It's in Palmer, but it's on Friday, so you have school and you can't come with me.
But you said it was Saturday too.
It is Saturday, but that's the weekend we're gonna be going down to Newport. So, just an FYI for those of you who are in the area. Also an FYI for those of you in the area, the Frugal Yankee retreat is next month. February 1st, little one said to me, now we can really say that the retreat is next month. So it's the last weekend in March. I will post the link down below for room reservations and the link for the Facebook page. I've said it before, but in case you're new, basically this is a very low-key retreat. All you have to do is book your room. There's no classes. There's not even a dedicated stitching room. We're just going to be taking over the breakfast area of the motel once breakfast is done being served. It's a residence inn, so every room has couches and chairs, so we can stitch in our rooms and have friends stitching in our rooms with us if we want. Just very low key, just a time to get together and get to know each other and stitch. So I hope you'll join us if you're at all able. We will be 6 minutes or 6 miles away from the World in Stitches, which is one of the 2 cross-stitch shops that we have in Massachusetts. And we will also be pretty close to the Quilted Crow, which sells punch needle and quilting and all kinds of good supplies like that. So there will be lots of opportunities for retail therapy if that's what you're interested in. I have been really bad about doing shout outs. For a long time, I was just behind in Flosstube and I was only watching the people that I had been watching for months and months. I didn't have time to find new people. But I've had time recently to catch up and kind of check out some new people. So I wanted to give a shout out to Hoosier Apple. Her name is Apple. She's from Indiana, for those of you who didn't catch the Hoosier reference. But she lives in Massachusetts now, and so I am hoping to meet her in person someday. She is unable to come to our retreat, but hopefully we can meet up at Bush Mountain at some point. And then Valerie at Stitching in the Barn. She's in Pennsylvania and Kindred Spirits, and so I've been watching all of her videos, and I know you've heard about them because she did that awesome video with her neighbor Kay about samplers, but she does great work on her own, and so if you haven't checked her out, I encourage you to do that. Okay, plans. You want to talk about your plans?
Yes. So my snow project, if we get any more snow this year, is going to be Snowman Trio by Country Cottage Needleworks. I had kitted this up, and I was going to stitch it last summer, and I never got to that because I kept stitching and pausing on my reading sampler. So that's going to be done when it's snowing. Then after Let It Snow, the project I'm going to be doing is Lizzy Kate's Kitty String. And does anybody know what that green thing is above the K and the L? I'm not sure if you can see it.
All the other motifs were like cat related, and then we just looked at the K and the L and we couldn't tell what that V thing was supposed to be.
Green V.
So if anyone has any ideas, help us solve the mystery. So you're going to have to kit that up at some point before you can start.
Yeah.
My plans, I pretty much talked about them. I'm going to continue working on Sparrow. I'm hoping to finish the page that I'm on by Friday so that I can say I'm just about halfway done. And then next week is February vacation, so I'm hoping to get a good start on page 7. There's 12 pages in total. So if I can get a good start on page 7 and finish outlining the house before the Frugal Yankee retreat, that would be awesome. And then I will probably end up doing some more on the farmer's market or harvest for Prairie Schooler. Because I know there's no law that says I can only do one Prairie Schooler a month. I can do as many Prairie Schoolers as I want. I did notice after I finished the pineapple and the apple, like I needed to move on to something else. I don't know if I needed it more of a challenge or what, but so 2 in a row probably will be my limit, and then I'll have to go back to doing something else, but it's not like I don't have anything else that needs doing. And I have a Save the Stitch. I was unpacking boxes and I came across this piece with, can you see that? $1.49 price tag at the thrift store. And obviously I'm not displaying this right now because it's a very fall piece, but this was absolutely hand quilted. You can see, I don't know if you can see,
looks like
but
there's like cat fur on it.
I can see stitches here. So I know that this was not machine quilted. This was handmade by somebody. And so we've got acorns and all of the quilt, or the tree square, what am I saying? The leaf squares, and then more acorns. So this will be a perfect table runner during the fall. It's backed in this orange and brown. And so it's going to match my dining room perfectly. But obviously it's definitely a fall piece. But for $1.49, I was not leaving that at the thrift store. So that's my Save a Stitch. The last thing I wanted to talk about is what's going on around the homestead. It is almost maple syrup season, and Dad has agreed to help me tap some of our trees. So I've been gathering our buckets and getting cinder blocks together so that we can make an outdoor fire to cook down the sap into syrup. And we're going to go hopefully early this week to get our tubing and taps and get started, because pretty soon the season is going to be upon us here. I saw on Facebook the other day that someone out in Hardwick, Mass was already doing their first boil. So that's what's going on around the homestead. Not much else. Nope. So I guess we will call it quits here. We will wish you fair winds and following seas until we meet again. Bye.